And welcome, nerd and nerdettes out there watching live. We are back at you for another Sunday night of racing action here with the boys of the East Coast Tour Modified League for the running of the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. And this is going to be a crazy race nonetheless, as you can tell right now. They are running, yes, that is a Legends Oval at Hotlanta. So it is going to be some bumper to bumper, Nerf bar to Nerf bar, or as Stash likes to call them, sticker saver to sticker saver, racing all race long for the running of the AdminBoxx 75. So again, 75 is the lap count for the main event. Heats are 10 races or 10 laps apiece. Should be a fun one all the way around. As always, Nerditudes and Nerd TV here bringing you all the racing action. Tonight, I am Dustin Logston, also known as Ballistic, and right below me is somebody that does not need any introduction whatsoever, known only by that trademark Stash, Mr. Stash himself, Kenny Haight. How we doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, buddy. I can't wait to see these awesome cars over the first three races that this being the third race that I've watched. These cars are fantastic, and at this track, it's going to be wild. Nice tight corners, long straightaways. You know, the corners turn into a hairpin. It's going to be wild. We're, like you said, bumper to bumper, sticker saver to sticker saver, all race long.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be like that in the heats. It's going to be like that in warm-up. It's going to be like that in the main as you see the 27th and Hill go for a wild ride around the corner. So drivers definitely trying to get used to this Legends Oval, a much smaller track than what they are used to running on the last few races, but something that the league officials and league admins wanted to throw in really to test the drivers and their abilities here, and it's going to be a fun one nonetheless. Again, it is going to be hard to tell exactly what to expect on this, but you could definitely expect that there's going to be some bent up bars by the time that today's done. No, not because of the lack of driving skill, but as you can tell just by the live feeds going on, that there's minimal room here. These drivers are, they're going to be pinched and pinched hard. If you can imagine a full field of these Whelen Modifieds on this track here, side by side through the corners, it's going to be a crazy one, Kenny.
Oh, absolutely. I've been watching as Joseph Mitchell takes to the track tonight, watching some of his laps and the line that he's running. He's looking really smooth tonight, jumping all the way up to the front, racing Vernon in that 51 car. Laid down our hot lap of the night so far in practice with a 13.6. Next fastest car being the 12 car of Devin Medeiros with a 13.8. So already 0.2 of a second split between number 1 and 2. And looking down all the way to about 4th, 5th place, we're all within a 1/10 time gap. I don't know, man. I'm thinking Racing Vernon's going to be a force to reckon with yet again tonight, just as he's been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and he has been. Now, it's Racing Vernon already has one victory under his belt for the season, being the season opener. Did it in dominating fashion. Came up bridesmaid last week, and Jeffrey Clifton keeping the 51 behind him to capture his first victory of the season. So 2 races, 2 different winners. Raises the question, are we going to see our first repeat winner in the third outing here for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series, or are we going to see another first-time winner again? Right now, 2 of your previous winners, being Racing Vernon and Jeffrey Clifton, are now holding the first and third times as far as quick times on the track, Kenny.
Man, it's going to be fantastic, and with a track like this, you really never know what's going to go on. Bumpers are definitely going to be used. And they could be used on one of our 2 previous winners already. We no idea what's going to come of it, but man, it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and as always, the chat channels are open. You guys know we love bringing you guys in to talk about, bring you in as part of the broadcast. I do want to shout out to Thanks for Trying TV. They are rocking the Nerditude scheme tonight. That is Mr. Jason Cameron Jr. Does have a really nice looking Nerditude scheme. We much appreciate the love and respect on that as well. I do want to touch note right now, as you see some racing right now between the 27 of Aiden Hill and the 88 of Josh Clemens. Expect a lot more close racing like that all night long. Speaking of Aiden Hill, Mr. Aiden Hill is tonight's Martin Sports in-rig reporter, as he is out there right now pulling some laps. We're going to go to his live feed there, so you actually see the difference between his in-rig and him actually in the car itself. So we've seen him out there. Mr. Aiden Hill, do you have a copy, buddy?
Mr. Hill, you hear us, bud? I don't believe we've got him.
No, we are having some communication technical difficulties on that one there. We will have to try that again. Do you have us there, Aiden?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right, so we see you out there pulling some practice laps. We got you on camera right now. Tell us a little bit, being the Martin Sports in-rig reporter for tonight's event. How was that track out there, putting these Whelen Modifieds out there on a Legends Oval?
Slippery. Very slippery. I mean, like ice. You get on the gas too hard coming out of a corner and you're gone. Go too hard going in, gone. In between, gone.
So what you're saying is you are going to have your hands full for sure tonight then. So what are your expectations for tonight as we're winding down practice, getting ready to go to qualifying? What are your expectations? What are your plans to try to put this 27 in victory lane for the first time this season?
Honestly, just I'm going to watch and see what everybody's doing, and then probably halfway or midway or somewhere around there, I'll probably start pushing the car in the way that I know I should, and then see if I can get some positions made up, as long as Vernon isn't in the way. But, just have to see.
Just have to see, and we all know that that 51 always brings a rocket anytime that these Whelen Modifieds hit the track. So should be a good race all around. Look forward to seeing what you can do with some awesome rig shots as well as in-car shots from you. On behalf of Martin Sports as the in-rig reporter, but we're going to let you head back up with your team. We know qualifying's getting ready to hit it, so we're going to let you rip it, buddy. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
And that is our Martin Sports in-rig reporter, Mr. Aiden Hill, driver of that number 27 machine. Again, gonna be a good one. East Coast Modified Tours said they're psyched for tonight. Gonna be some good short track racing. Absolutely, it is. It is gonna be some good stuff. Talking about Martin Sports, I do want to mention our sponsors. Obviously, Martin Sports being one of them. Excellent makers of some fantastic apparel. You can see both Stash and myself rocking the apparel Stash. I swear you got the tracking number. Your official Nerditudes Esports jersey is on its way, buddy. We rocking some of the best gloves that you can find for sim racing all the way around. They not only do stuff for sim racing, sports teams, high school sports teams. They do sports apparel. They do hoodies. They're looking to work on a fitness line as well. You name it, they make it, and they do a fantastic job. Check out their apparel line at martinsports906.com. Check out what they have. Order some swag. Order some merch. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD at checkout. It'll save you 25% on checkout. Again, that is the title sponsor for tonight. As well as they also sponsor the race grid segment as well. So look for their logos plastered all over the place, and we do that because we love them so much. Again, martinsports906.com. We do want to shout out to Stay Tuned Sports with Jimbo. So again, we are right in postseason playoffs for NFL. I mean, you want to talk about some good content that these guys have. They do a fantastic job. I personally sat down and listened to some of the podcasts. Good group of guys. Get your sports talk with there, mixed in with a little bit of that ball busting, that comedy that's in there. It's why the nerds like them so much, because we kind of do the same thing. So we love that very much. Do an excellent job. They cover a lot of different things, discuss a lot of different things. NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL. They also do more of your combative sports. So that's your UFC, your Bellator, your bare knuckle boxing. So check them out. See what they have to offer. You will not be disappointed. Sit down and listen to one podcast, and I guarantee you'll come back for more. So again, that is Stay Tuned Sports. Tonight's sponsor, AdminBoxx. That is tonight's event sponsor, the AdminBoxx 75. This AdminBoxx is geared towards just that, admins. In today's busy world, admins want to race and be sure that they provide the best administrative support for their league. AdminBoxx is your way. It is a true plug-and-play device. There's no coding, no programming, anything required. Plug and play, assign everything to the actual box. These buttons are actually pre-inlaid with all the commands and everything else as far as labels on them. All you have to do is just set them up in iRacing. Makes life easy for admins, and more importantly, admins that want to drive and participate as well. So again, check out AdminBoxx. We also want to shout out to iRacing iFlag, Nerditude's official flagging partner of both Nerditudes and Nerd TV. You will see their logo not only here for sponsored plugs, but you will see it for every green flag and every caution flag down at the bottom left as a marshalling system, because that's exactly what iFlag is a race marshalling system. Uses 64 LEDs. Yes, 64. You will be able to see more items, more things, more notifications out of your peripherals with these things here as a full race marshalling system. You're talking flags. You're talking, any type of safety car, depending on if you're road racing or not. It will give you up-to-date and very accurate pinpoint accuracy when it comes to those notifications. Couple that with the digital pit board, and you will get true to accurate iRacing statistics and everything else as far as fuel usage, tire usage, and everything else. So again, it is a fantastic product. Check them out. When you do, be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD there as well. Going to save you guys 15% at checkout. We do want to shout out to Butt Kicker as well. That is the official audio enhancement partner of Nerditudes and Nerd TV. It's an excellent addition to any sim rig. Again, it's that D-box there, hooked straight up into your audio there, will give you that one key piece that every driver's been missing, and that's the feel of the car, the feel of the revs, the feel of the idle, the feel of shifting, the bumps, tire slippage, rumble strips, you name it, you're going to be able to feel it right down at your derriere. And it's going to help you tremendously. I am a user of it as well. It has definitely helped my road racing out, especially with the slippage on that. So again, be sure you use promo code NERDTV to save you 15% there. And with that, Stash, that is our lineup for our sponsor plugs. They are gridding right now. With that being said, buddy, how about you take us through our starting grid presented by none other than Martin Sports?
Absolutely. On the pole for heat number 1, we've got Racing Vernon in the 51 car. Just to his outside, Jeffrey Clinton wheeling that 15 car. Moving back to row 2, we've got the 28 car of Preston DeMello. To his outside, number 45, Joseph Mitchell. And rounding out our third row, we have the 88 of Joshua Clemens and the 61 car of Andrew Major.
Absolutely. And with that, we are going to get these ugly mugs off of the screen, take you down trackside for that race in action. As you see, that pace truck is leading these drivers around. Should be a good one. Very small, tight track as it sits right now. But these drivers for heat race are ready and raring to go for sure. Kenny, I'm telling you what, it is going to be a good one tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how these heat races are going to pan out. It's the first time that these drivers have, in competition, they've been practicing, but first time in competition that we're going to be able to see what they have to offer. Pace truck pulls off. They round turns 3 and 4. Green flag does fly. We are underway here. 51 on the inside, the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton on the outside. Your 2 race winners over the last 2 weeks duking it out just as they did last week as they sail it all off into turn 3.
You know, much like Martinville, I'm expecting to see these cars. Anybody that gets trapped on the outside, I see them falling back at least a few positions, like we've seen the 15 of Jeffrey Clinton. He finally moved into the inside. The 45 of Joseph Mitchell, he finally got moved to the inside for a little bit of nose-to-tail action, and I think it's going to take quite a bit of work just for these guys to get around each other at a track like this. Yeah,
it's going to, and it's no surprise that it has moved on to that single file racing like that. Again, there's not a lot that's going on here, so it's not only going to be driver skill that is going to get drivers by another driver, but at the same time, drivers capitalizing on minimal mistakes that other drivers make. That's where it's going to be. I mean, at 75 laps around this, these laps are going to tick off very fast. But again, at the same time, there's going to be racing action all around the track, Stash. I mean, it's whether it's you're racing for position or you're catching lapped cars, or soon-to-be lapped cars, there's going to be action all over.
You know, and speaking of action right now, we see the 45 of Joseph Mitchell getting a little loose coming out of 2 as he has the 88 car of Joshua Clemens hot on his tail, waiting for just a slightly bigger mistake that he can actually capitalize on.
Yeah, and again, you see these cars you heard our Martin Sports in-rig reporter Aiden Hill talk about that these cars, it's like driving on ice. You get in the throttle at the wrong time, it's wanting to spin. You turn just a little too much, it's wanting to spin. And that's exactly what is going on here. And these drivers are, they're still trying to get in their groove, still trying to get everything set. And, I mean, you can see that exactly what Aiden Hill was telling you folks out there is exactly what's going on.
Absolutely. Looking up front, we see our race leader, 51 of Racing Vernon, under a little bit of pressure from the 15 of Jeffrey Clinton. Clinton definitely staying within striking range of him now as they come out of 4 to take lap 11. So we're going to have 2 to go. And, man, I don't think Jeffrey Clinton's going to have the time to do it.
No, and I would agree on that. I do not believe that he is going to. It's going to take a lot. I mean, right now, Racing Vernon is just on a rail. But I tell you what, Clifton is staying right with him, though. Vernon is not pulling all too much as Racing Vernon in that 51 will take your heat win number 1. Jeffrey Clifton will finish second. So, again, a little bit of a congratulatory bump there after race. Preston DeMello will take 3rd. Joseph Mitchell 4th. Josh Clemens 5th. And Andrew Majors will round out your 6th place final position in heat race number 1. With that being said, go ahead and run us through our starting grid for heat race number 2.
Yep, heat race number 2. It looks like this is all the farther we're going to be going for heat races tonight as we're chilling with, looks like 11, 12 cars on the field. Starting on the pole will be the 21 car of Jason Cameron Jr. To his outside, the 12 car of Devin Medeiros. Starting in 3rd, we've got the number 1 of Miles Moore. To his outside, the 27 of Aiden Hill, who is my pick for tonight. And then in row 3, we have the 5 car of Tyler Green. And rounding out the field, the number 31 of Brad Carpenter, who has not made a lineup.
So again, the racing action should be just as good as what it was in the previous race. Gonna be a good one. I expect to see some good things. Glad to see Jason Cameron Jr. back in racing action. Had to miss last week as he was under the weather. Unfortunately enough, had that COVID, but is back in racing action again, starting on the pole. Green flag is out side by side as they dive it off into 1. The 21 of Cameron Jr. on the inside. You have Devin Medeiros on the outside, has to take it way wide on that one there. And that relinquishes the lead completely right now to the 21. Little loose is Cameron Jr. coming out of turn 4, Stash.
a lot of racing action already unfolding as we see the number 5 of Tyler Green, moving back into the 4th place, and then just behind him, 27 of Aiden Hill, as he got caught on that outside line. Just as I was saying, he had to take the soft L and move to the back to avoid, any kind of major incidents.
Yeah, and we have a car spinning to the inside. That looks like that is the 5 of Tyler Green. Just come off the corner, much like what we've heard the drivers talking about. Does not take much to break it loose coming off of these corners, and that's what he did. Clean spin into the infield, but lost a lot of positions as the leaders right now, being the 12 of Medeiros and the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. are coming up to his rear bumper. But I tell you what, the race in action is hard and heavy between Medeiros and Cameron Jr. The 21 of Cameron Jr. is all over the back end of Medeiros.
Absolutely, he is staying hot on his heels. I can't believe I actually missed the pass for Medeiros taking the lead, but Jason Cameron's just sticking with him, will not let go of that tail of his car.
Now, as we are riding on board right now, a little bit of a bump and run there, move by the 21 of Cameron Jr. gets that inside run, but Medeiros not giving it up. Side by side are they coming off of turn 4. At the line, credit that one to the 12 of Medeiros. But again, the 21 of Cameron Jr. bumping, really using those Nerf bars and those sticker savers on the side of those cars there, Sash.
And I expect to see nothing less out of the feature. A little bit of a left rear from, the 21 of Jason Cameron as they both fall back into 3rd and 4th place, respectively, as they head into turn number 1.
Yeah, and again, that's as much as they were riding on each other. They did a fantastic job there for a lap and a half before, eventually something had to give, and that was the 12 of Medeiros. Definitely, got spun there, and it kind of looked like the 21 tried to bump him in the front to straighten him back out, and it didn't work out to plan. But that did relinquish the lead to the number 1 of Miles Morse. So he now takes over that number 1 spot, and the 27 of Aiden Hill now takes over that 2nd spot, trying to chase down that win. Don't know if it's going to be able to be done, though, at this point in time, as we are on the final lap right now. He only has a half a lap left, Stash.
Coming into 3 and 4, the number 1 car looks like he will take the win, followed by the 27 of Aiden Hill. Jason Cameron, that 21 car pulling in 3rd. The 12 car of Devin Medeiros taking 4th. And rounding out the field will be in 5th place, the number 5 of Tyler Green.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, that's the kind of racing that I was expecting right there. And that's what I expect in that AIM main 75 laps of racing action. Drivers are going out to hit their warm-up. That means one thing and one thing only, Stash. We are going to give our partners and sponsors and supporters their due time and thanks. We are going to take a short commercial break. We will be back at you for the start and the official running of the AdminBoxx 75.
You want to be the best. You can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McCody Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McCody Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, race fans. As warm-up has ended, these drivers are starting to grid for what is going to be an action-packed, just ball-busting, hard-knuckle race. 75 laps here at the Atlanta Legends Oval. With that said, Stash, let's run through our official, and this is with or after the invert, our official Martin Sports race lineup.
All right, so due to the 28 car of Preston DeMello not being able to make the feature, it is going to mess with the lineup just a little bit, as the entire inside row will shift one row forward. Starting on the pole tonight will be the number 15 car of Jeffrey Clinton. To his outside, the number 27 of Aiden Hill. Starting in third, we will have the 51 of Racing Vernon, followed by the number 1 car of Miles Moore. In fifth place, we will have the 45 car of Joseph Mitchell. To his outside, the number 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. In seventh place, we will have the 88 car of Joshua Clemens. To his outside, the number 12 of Devin Medeiros. In ninth place, we will have the 61 of Andrew Major. To his outside, the number 5 of Tyler Green. And rounding out the field tonight will be the 31 car of Brad Carpenter.
So again, going to be some excellent racing action coming at you. These drivers, if heat race number 2 is going to be any testament to what to expect, that is exactly what I envisioned when the admins told me that they were coming to a Legends Oval and these two were mods. That's exactly what I was expecting. Expect side-by-side grinding and bumping. Expect bump and runs. Because a single groove track, pace truck is off. Green flag flies. We are underway for the AdminBoxx 75. Clifton on the inside slips up right in front of the 27 of Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill falls in line. The 45 of Joe Mitchell gets loose going into the corner, but able to collect it back up. Continues on holding that third position as they go off into turn 1, Stash.
An absolute wild start. It looked like the 21 car of Jason Cameron got into the throttle a little too heavy and threw himself out over the grass in turn 1, as we already have a wreck in turn 3. It looks like the 27 car of Aiden Hill went for a couple donuts just outside of turn 3.
Yeah, and as he was trying to stop and collect that, it looks like that there was some contact to the left front by another driver as well, but that's to no fault of anybody else. I mean, this is a very small track, very tight track, not a whole lot of room. Even if you try to get out of the way, it just doesn't. It just doesn't pan out. Again, very loose race cars. Tires are still not set yet. But you heard from Aiden Hill and the chatter from a couple of the other drivers here is that, I mean, this track is, with this particular style of car, is loose to begin with. Right now, Jeffrey Clifton holds your top spot as it sits right now. Again, he is a driver that has claimed victory this season already in the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. That was last week. And right now, that 45 of Joe Mitchell definitely holding a very strong position. Probably wishes that tonight he was the in-rig reporter because he has been coming on strong all race long and is now holding that second spot. So as long as he can keep it clean, again, it should be some good battling throughout the field here. A lot of fast drivers, Stash.
Absolutely. And, you know, fast drivers, this track being as slick as it is, we're going to see a lot of bumper-to-bumper action. This track, just fantastic. It's going to produce a lot of action. I'm waiting to see these cars as they get lined up so we can have a better idea of who's going to be starting inside versus outside and, you know, what to expect off of the restart. But it looks like Joe Mitchell will have that outside. We'll see what he can do with it as they come out of turn 4, take the green flag.
Green flag flies. Clifton has an excellent restart. But right now, Joe Mitchell goes and takes it way wide, has to get on the brakes not to lock it up. That is going to stack everybody up. We have a car on their lid. That is going to be the 45 of Joe Mitchell coming out of that corner. That is going to be a tough break as he is going to have to tow back. We're going to go back and take a look at that replay. As just chaos ensued after that restart, going through turns 1 and 2, coming out of 2 more than anything else. It was a tough one, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Was these drivers just, there's no place to go when the track starts getting, you know, filled up like that. There's just nothing that can happen. You see the 45 of Mitchell way wide, and they just stack up. The 88 gets into it. The 5 gets it as well. See a lot of cars cutting through the grass to get through it. The 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. got on the brakes, not to T-bone anybody. But again, tough ride as we are going to go on board with Joe Mitchell, and we're going to take a look and see exactly what he's seen on that restart, going right through turns 1 and 2, all the way through to the inevitable ending of him turtling it right there on the backstretch.
Just absolutely wild. It looks like he came in just a little too hot, knowing he was going to have to run that outside line. Came in a little strong and just overshot the corner a little bit. And, you know, with a track as narrow as this is, once it becomes congested, that's it. It is chaos to try to get through.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. That did collect the 88 of Josh Clemens as well, was the driver that made contact on the left side, the driver's side of the 45 of Mitchell. Later, the 5 of Tyler Green came in and got a piece of that. Like cars, I mean, just going everywhere. We talked about the 21 cutting through the infield to avoid, for wreck avoidance. So, I mean, there were cars all over the place. Good thing is these drivers do have one quick repair, so Joe Mitchell will be able to use that. The unfortunate thing is he had to get towed back. He was turtled, so that is why he is still sitting on pit road. He has to wait for that tow to bring him back before he can even utilize that one quick repair that they do have, Stash.
And now that I'm looking at it, it appears my racing lineup was wrong again. Appears the 51 of Racing Vernon did not make the lineup in time, as he currently sits in 10th place, 11 laps down. Joseph Mitchell finally back out on track, sitting 4 laps down as they take the green flag heading into turn number 1.
Turn 1, you got Jeffrey Clifton out in that lead. You got the 12 of Medeiros starting to get into the groove of things as he pulls into that P2 position. The 1 of Miles Morse now in that P3. You got a race and battle right now for that 4th position side by side. That is the 27 of Aiden Hill and the 60 one of Andrew Majors are going at it right now side by side. So, again, I mean, the racing is already hard and heavy as these drivers are going at it. A little bit of blinky going on right now with the 27 of Aiden Hill. Now, you did talk about Racing Vernon is shown in P10 right now. He is a number of laps down. He is out on the track, but like you said, was unable to make the initial grid on that, so started number of laps down. So, with that being said, it does not look like at this point in time that we will have a repeat winner in the form of that 51 of Racing Vernon tonight.
No, it's going to be... I don't believe he's going to be able to make up those 11 laps. However, Joseph Mitchell sitting in P9, he does have a chance, though it will be a difficult one, as he does have one car ahead of him, the number 5 of Tyler Green, who is just 1 lap down. And we might actually get to see our first Lucky Dog wave around by... I lost it. Stay Tuned Sports will be the prize, or the main sponsor for the Lucky Dog Pass of this season.
Yeah, so if we do see that, that is the Stay Tuned Sports Lucky Dog Recipient Award. We have not been able to call that up thus far this season, but with how short this track is and drivers being a lap down, it could definitely happen tonight if it is going to happen at all. Right now, up front, Jeffrey Clifton has been getting a lot of pressure from the 12 of Devin Medeiros. As those two have been going at it, they did pass and put another lap down on the 5 of Tyler Green, who was involved in that lap 2 or that corner 2 accident just a number of laps ago. Right now, Aiden Hill, our Martin Sports in-rig reporter, sitting in 3rd place. Definitely has a good run going right now. Had gotten passed by the 51 of Racing Vernon, but that was not for position. But right now, just on an island on his own, which in this case is a good thing because, Stash, you know as well as I as a driver, you don't have to worry about any of the pressure from front or behind. You are just running your laps, and that is going to be key and important here right now.
Absolutely, and when you're focused on another driver, if you got the pressure from behind, subconsciously your focus starts to shift towards that driver behind you, and as that happens, that allows whoever's in front of you to slowly start making up, starting to put some distance between the two of you. So it's really nice to be on an island of your own, and you can just focus on clicking away those laps and getting those laps put down.
Yeah, as we just seen the 1 of Miles Morse get loose in 3 and 4 in the 88 of Josh Clemens, capitalized on that. So Mark Clemens up to P4, Miles Morse back to P5. Morse trying to come back to battle, but is not going to get it easy as the 88 of Josh Clemens is looking to hold that position and is not going to give it up light. Right behind him, you got the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr., who had a rough start to this race here, and is just out there again, much like the 27 of Aiden Hill, on an island on his own, just running the laps, which is going to allow him to try to make up some of that time as he's trying to chase down the 1 of Morse and the 88 of Clemens. Back up front, the race in action right now, you got Jeffrey Clifton still holding that top spot, just put the 61 of Andrew Majors a lap down, trying to catch up to the 45 of Joe Mitchell. Again, Mitchell still trying to rebound back from that turn 2 incident where he turtled. Again, we have not had the ability to see very many cars. I believe that is only the second car this season we've actually seen turtle. It could be the first as well. Joe does like to be the first to do everything, so wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But right now, Jeffrey Clifton just trying to walk out on this field.
And he's definitely doing a good job of it. As you look in front of him, he's got plenty of clear space, at least a straightaway between him and the next car ahead of him, who appears... I actually don't have who is ahead of him. My camera keeps jumping around way too fast as we've got cars kind of scattered a little bit everywhere on the track.
Yes, and we do have a caution out. It looks like Devin Medeiros gets loose coming out of 4. That is going to bring out our caution, and with that... Yeah, lap traffic galore. The chat channels are lighting up. We have a lot of people out there, so Aiden Hill's fan crew and fans are in attendance right now. That's Sharpest Ocean 2. Again, shouting out to Aiden. Stay tuned, Sports. How you doing? What is going on? Again, love the podcast. Keep it rolling. Love your work. We have fellow nerd. Poshibyanek out there. What's up, nerds? So again, in the East Coast Modified says lap traffic galore, which is exactly what we had called coming into this race, Stash.
Absolutely. These, as we see the pace truck coming out, and we're slowly getting cars lined up into positions that they should be in, just trying to get a gauge of where everybody's at. Looks like we've got 2 cars 1 lap down, the 61 of Andrew Major and the number 5 of Tyler Green. Curious to see how the wave round's going to work, which one will actually get it, if either of them have went to the pits.
Correct. We will have a lucky dog awarded as well with this. So again, we will be awarding, and somebody will be the recipient of that Stay Tuned Sports Lucky Dog Award tonight. I do believe by the looks of it, it was going to be Tyler Green, as he did come back around and rejoin the field passing the pace car, so he will be the recipient of that lucky dog. Pace truck is off right now. Green flag flies. We are back in racing action as they are diving off into turn number 1. Now, somebody new to challenge our top driver, Jeffrey Clifton. That is going to be the 27 of Aiden Hill, is now in that P2 position. Following him now moving up is the 21. Big accident coming out of turns 3 and 4. No caution as it sits right now. Everybody collected it up. I am surprised that no caution came out in that one there, as it was a hornet's nest going through 3 and 4, Stash.
Yeah, that number 1 car, he was completely broadside, perfect 90 degrees in the middle of the corner, but it appears that he got a tap in the left front, straightened him out, and that was just enough for iRacing to say, we can keep her green, boys. Let's keep on digging.
Yeah, and we are going to go back and watch that replay as well, just because it happened so fast and no caution came out, just so you folks at home can see exactly the chaos that ensued going into turn 3. Heads up driving by all these drivers. You see the 1 goes in low, loose, everybody evasive maneuvers, gets a little tap by the 12 of Medeiros, sets him straight again. All drivers take off again, but the 1 has pulled it into the pits on that one there. Does look like that there is some damage on that as he was not turning, so I imagine that something with suspension or steering or toe has really knocked out on that one there. So he has definitely pulled it back in for repairs at this point in time.
You know, I'm taking a look through our field, and it does not appear that we had a a Lucky Dog Wave Around by Stay Tuned Sports podcast. So far, Tyler Green is still 1 lap down as Devin Medeiros in the 12 has moved to 2 laps. The number 1 of Miles Moore currently 2 laps down as he gets back out on track. The 61 of Andrew Major goes 4 laps down. Joseph Mitchell 5, and Racing Vernon still at 11 laps down.
So that is our mistake on that one there, but you know what, we don't care because we love showing that Stay Tuned Sports podcast logo anyway, because it is a sexy logo. So you know what, we don't care. We'll show a little bit more on that one. Back to the race in action. The 15 of Clifton is stretching it out. He's got about an 8-car length lead going down the stretch over the 27 of Aiden Hill, but Aiden Hill right now under a lot of pressure from the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. is, again, Jason Cameron Jr. coming on strong in the later laps. We have 24 laps to go in this main event here. And this right here is your battle for the top spot. As these 3 cars right here, you are on board right now with the 21 of Cameron Jr. You got the 27 of Aiden Hill, our Martin Sports in-rig reporter, running in second, and both of those drivers are doing their best to chase down your race leader up there, that white and blue and black number 15 of Jeffrey Clifton.
As we come out of turn 4, we do have a car sideways. Looks to me like the 51 of Racing Vernon and the number 12 of Devin Medeiros as they get together and bring out the caution flag.
So we are under our 3rd caution of the night. Again, I was surprised that a caution didn't come out with that melee that ensued going into turn 3. But again, that was good heads-up driving by all the drivers involved on that one there. Going into it, looks like Medeiros is drifted high. The 51 of Vernon could not get stopped in time, and it was just enough to tag and spin the 12 of Medeiros around on that one there. And as it was in front of the leaders, and pretty much every piece of pavement that you see here is it is the track. It brought out our 3rd caution of the night. Again, Stash, this is exactly what I was expecting this racing to be like. It just hard and heavy racing all the way around. I didn't expect anything different, and these drivers are not disappointing. With that, let's get our in-rig reporter presented by Martin Sports, Mr. Aiden Hill, on the horn. Let's see if we can't get a quick word with him.
Aiden, have you got a copy with us, buddy?
Mr. Hill, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how is the racing out there? You have moved your way up through the field, sitting P2 right now behind that 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. Do you feel you have anything to try to take that P1 spot and try to get your first victory of the season tonight?
You bugged out, but I'm going to just go off of what I thought you said. Racing has been good, very intense, very sweaty, and I got into that little accident, and now my steering's a little wonky.
Well, I tell you what, you have been putting on a good show out there for the fans like everybody else, but seeing as you're battling a car as it is, we are going to let you get back to racing, buddy. Good luck and give her hell. That was our Martin Sports in-rig reporter at 27, as he, again, is having a little bit of connection issues, blinking out a little bit, which is unfortunate. That Will, as you see right now, was literally inside the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. for a split second. So all kinds of stuff going on right now, connection-wise. That's just that's some of the stuff that we have to battle here as sim racers that a lot of other drivers don't have to worry about. Does look like it is stabled out. The 27 of Aiden Hill is in that P2 spot, but that has allowed Jeffrey Clifton to really stretch it out. The 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. still trying to put pressure on that 27 and try to take that P2 spot, Stash.
Looking back into the field, we have a gnarly battle between the number 5 of Tyler Green and the 12 of Devin Medeiros as Medeiros goes around in turn number 1.
And as you were just talking about that, again, we had heard, Racing Vernon talk about, brakes were killing them, as everybody has a different brake point going in here, and the closing rate is so fast on these tour mods that the drivers are having a hard time with that closing rate, and that's exactly what looked like happened there between the 5 of Tyler Green and the 12 of Devin Medeiros there. Closing rate, it looked like it just surprised the 5 of Green, and he couldn't slow up enough, and unfortunately the 12 of Medeiros took the bumper there and spun it. Didn't look like he collected anybody else or any other damage, but again, unfortunate turn of events there for the 12 of Medeiros.
Through the last caution, we had a whole lot of action unfold all at the same time. Brought in our race rig reporter by Martin Sports, but it did appear that the number 5 of Tyler Green was awarded the Stay Tuned Sports wave round, and I do believe Miles Moore should also be the recipient of the Stay Tuned wave round, Lucky Dog wave round, as we come around the track yet again. That should bring Miles to 1 lap down instead of the 2 he's at now.
Correct, and again, we have not had a chance to actually see Lucky Dogs thus far this season. This is the first track, but a lot of these drivers, they will, this track is a very short track all the way around, so it doesn't take long for drivers to go a lap down at this track, and with as tight as what this track is, we've had a couple more cautions than what we've had on some of the other tracks, but that's exactly what was expected of this track itself. I mean, this track is designed for your legends. This is a legends car track, and we throw some tour mods on there and say, all right, boys, let's have at it, let's have some fun, and that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, they're putting on a hell of a show right now. Is the pace truck will be scheduled to duck off this time around. As there goes the pace truck. Field is led by the 15 of Clifton right now as they come through 3 and 4. Off of 4. Green flag flies. Excellent start by the 15 of Clifton and the 27. Little bit of a bump there from the 21. All kinds of action going on that just completely blocks up the track going on. No caution comes out at this point in time. Drivers keep going, but lots of positions lost by a number of drivers. Jason Cameron Jr. loses positions. Aiden Hill falls back to that 3rd spot right now. He gives up that 2nd spot to the 5 of Tyler Green after that exchange through turn 1 and 2. And right now, Tyler Green trying to chase down the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton, who has been the talk of the field all night long since the drop of the green flag.
Without a doubt, that was only an iRacing moment where you could have a whole track packed and not receive a caution, yet we see the caution flag is out now for one car in the middle of the infield. It appears to be the number 61 of Andrew Major.
iRacing Logic, I tell you what, it's an excellent simulator. There are certain things that happen and pop up that are unfortunate. That last incident should have been a caution. We don't have any rhyme or reason, but like I said, for the quality that they have done on this, as you see, it looks like the one going to be our Lucky Dog recipient this time around, putting him back on the lead lap there, Stash?
Negative. That will put him at 1 lap down, I believe. That is if my ticker has updated, which it usually takes about a half lap. At a small track like this, it could take the whole lap, but as of right now, I am registering as 1 lap down for the number 1 of Miles Moore.
All right, but as always, we want to thank the iRacing simulation software. Again, without that, we couldn't be out here having some fun. Again, there are some quirks every now and then, just as there is with any computer program. But again, you are not going to get any more realistic than what is offered through the iRacing simulation software. That does shuffle up our running order. Your top 5 is the 15 of Clifton, Tyler Green, and that 5 will be to his outside. Inside that third row is going to be the 27 of Aiden Hill, still in there chomping at the bit. The 88 of Josh Clemens is in that fourth position. Rounding out your top five is the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. We are going to get green flag. It is going to be a 3-lap shootout to the finish, no holds barred. It is going to be racing action. Green flag is out. 15 of Clifton gets an excellent launch going off into turn 1. The 5 of Tyler Green still in that P2 position. Takes it wide, though. Leaves a door open for the 27 of Aiden Hill, but Aiden Hill not able to do it. The 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. hops to the inside of the 88 of Josh Clemens, trying to take that P4 position as they are still side by side. A little bit of bump there from behind. Racing still keeps on going off into turn 3.
Absolutely spectacular racing as they come out of turn 4, and it unofficially, these results are all sorts of wonky. It's going to take me about 10 seconds to get everything in line, Dustin.
That's all right. It does look like the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton will be our first repeat winner of the season. The 5 of Tyler Green, having his best run of the season so far in 3 weeks, takes P2, and Aiden Hill finishes the night out in P3. That is your podium lineup right now. We will be talking to each one of those drivers momentarily as you see them out there. Aiden Hill, happy that he survived that, out there whipping some nice burnouts there. Your winner finally starts letting it rip, burning down the house. We will be going over our official results here momentarily as we are getting ready to rock and roll. Do you have the final results there? Are you set, Stash, or you want me to handle that?
It appears that you might have to handle this one as my system is going through a stroke right now, almost like I am, because that was one hell of a finish coming for a green-white checkered.
Yes, it was. As it sits right now, the unofficial, again, as admins will review everything that goes on in the races, but these are your unofficial results right now, presented by Stay Tuned Sports. As you can tell, still celebrating his second victory of the season is the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. The 5 of Tyler Green does get his best finish of the season. You see Jeffrey Clifton just burning it down. Literally, he is going to grenade that bad boy. And well deserved on such a challenging track. Aiden Hill in that 27 does finish third. Jason Cameron Jr. finishes fourth. Josh Clemens in the 88 does finish in the 5th position. Miles Morrison, that number 1, takes 6th position. Devin Medeiros in that 12 and 7th. Andrew Major in that 61 car takes 8th position. Joe Mitchell in the 45, after that wild ride and eventually ending up in a turtle, brings that car home in P9. Racing Vernon rounds out your top 10. We did get word that he had simulator issues. PC crashed with a number of things. So again, some tough battles and struggles that unfortunate thing from the 51, because we know that he had some speed as well. Preston DeMello takes your 11th position. Brad Carpenter in that 31 will round out the field in the 12th position. With that being said, it is time to start talking to our podium finishers as we hit the Martin Sports post-race podium show. First on the block is going to be that number 27, our in-race reporter himself, the driver of that number 27, Mr. Aiden Hill.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what, buddy, that was one hell of a race up here to call and watch. I can only imagine that it was just as crazy, if not crazier, to be behind the wheel trying to make your way through the field there. Tell us a little bit about what was going on.
21, me, fighting good amount. Last, I think like the second or third lap to last, we made contact like we did a couple laps before then, and then that time my car spun a little too hard, and then somehow got back up to third, and I don't know, just walked away from there. And I had a lot of lagging issues too, so I'm surprised I got that far.
Yeah, at one point in time, we actually made comment. I don't know if you felt it or not, but you and the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr., you guys were at one point in time one as your car was inside of his. But I tell you what, I mean, it's you drove a hell of a race out there. I know you had worked your way back up a couple times. Tell us a little bit about that track. I mean, we understand up here in the booth and those out there viewing, and you're getting a lot of good jobs out there, and congratulations, and people proud of you. So again, excellent job out there. Tell us a little bit about this track when a caution or an incident would happen, how fast this track clogs up.
It's instant. I mean, the pace car was even trying to get through the field. It was that bad. Like the second the race starts, everybody's trying to get into the inside because that's the line that's preferred and everybody wants to run. And second somebody gets in there, they won't give it back. Like when I was trying to get behind Jeffrey for that final restart, or for like the second to last restart, Cameron got greedy and then got under me, and then things happened, and it's happened to a bunch of people. Like you get inside, another person would tap you, and it was really hard. So
yeah, it definitely looked like you guys were earning your simulated pay out there for sure. But I tell you what, I mean, you brought that machine home in third position, and that is a testament, I mean, to say the least, when it comes to this track here, because this track was meant to be a challenge. It was put on the schedule to challenge you guys, and you guys definitely stepped up to the challenge. So again, you did an excellent job on that one there. What can we expect moving forward for the remainder of the season from that 2017?
Honestly, the fact that I even got a top 3 in that, I'm pumped. I think I can do a ton better at a bunch of other tracks, as long as Vernon again is not in the way. But I just have to see. And with Butt Kicker on board, man, it's been real helpful, and it's been real great.
Yeah, Butt Kicker, definitely a great product to use, and I guarantee you were definitely feeling every hump and bump and bump and run and everything in between tonight. I tell you what, it was you did a hell of a job, well deserved on that one there. This is your time, buddy. It's your moment. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to? Anybody you'd like to give thanks to?
Yeah, huge thanks to, again, Butt Kicker and Stay Tuned Sports for sponsoring me for the season. Thanks to my mom for always watching, my dad for freaking out when he realized I was on the booth, so hi, Dad. And my stepmom for giving me the Kia, and then just my entire family for just supporting me throughout, and friends as well for supporting me and enjoying the races and stuff, and to the fans especially for watching.
I tell you what, a whole lot of love to give out there, and very much respect on that one. You definitely had the fan base yelling and a rolling there in the chats. They were lighting it up real good. So I tell you what, congratulations on your third place finish, buddy, and we look forward to see what that 2017 can do moving forward.
Thank you.
That is your third place finisher, driver of that number 27 in our official Martin Sports and Rig reporter tonight, Mr. Aiden Hill. Next,
we move on up the field. We've got our second place finisher, Tyler Green, in the booth. Tyler, do you have a copy, buddy?
Hey, loud and clear.
What a wild race. Starting P10, coming up to take P2. Solid finish on the podium. What's going through your mind?
Just luck, really. I don't know what happened with me in that first incident, but I was going low trying to pass, and all of a sudden I'm in the air hitting the wall. I had to come in. I accidentally forgot to take my tires off, so I went a lap down.
It appears that you were our first winner of the Lucky Dog Pass. So, I mean, congratulations on being the first one to get it this season. Hopefully we'll see you, hopefully we won't have to see you on taking the Lucky Dog Award again. Super fast car tonight. Such a tight track. what can we expect as we move forward into the season?
Honestly, I don't know, because I was probably thinking I wasn't going to get this high up in the leaderboard. These next two races I'm not really good at. I'm not good at Thompson, and I'm definitely not good at Martinsville.
Martinsville's going to be an absolute tough one. Like I was saying earlier in the race today, you know, the Legends Oval here kind of reminds me a lot of Martinsville. Inside line's a fast line. Everybody wants to get there as soon as possible. But right now, man, it is your time to shine. Do you have anybody you'd like to give thanks to? Anybody you want to give shout outs to? The floor is all yours.
Gotta thank my buddy Adam for watching, Tyler for watching. And seeing as you guys asked for sponsors last week, I put a few more on here. I got Jordan Equipment, Morse Trucking in the back, and Full Send Broadcasting.
Well, man, big congratulations. Big mover of the night, 10th to 2nd. Can't wait to see what you bring for us next week.
All right, I'll try to put on a show.
All righty, buddy. Thank you much.
Have a good night, guys.
That was your second place finisher. Again, 10th to 2nd in tonight's race out there celebrating. Used that Stay Tuned Sports Lucky Dog Award, got back on the lead lap, was able to finish P2. The incident he was talking about as far as being up on his side was the incident with Joe Mitchell coming out of turn 2 that ended up with Mitchell being on his lid as well. So excellent rebound there all the way around. But with that being said, we are going to move to our first repeat winner of the season, driver of the number 15, Mr. Jeffrey Clifton. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I am doing astonishingly well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I know that was a loaded question, buddy. Victory lane 2 weeks in a row. And I tell you what, man, on such a difficult track nonetheless. Tell us a little bit about those restarts. It seems like the restarts were so critical when those cautions came out. And I will mind you that not near as many cautions as I was expecting bringing these tour mods to this track. But again, how crucial and critical was it for you to be on your ball and on your game when it come to those restarts?
Yeah, at this track, it's really bad. You have to be especially careful because right there on the restart zone, you're turning and you're getting on the throttle at the same time. So the wheels, they have a tendency to spin, and if you're not careful, you can turn it around real quick. And I did a lot of practice at this track before this race, so I did a lot of, just making sure that I didn't get on the throttle too hard and tried to find a sweet spot where, I could get enough drive off without spinning my tires too much. So it all went pretty well. So I'm just happy that I didn't total it tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, I bet you there's a lot of drivers that were hoping that they could say the same thing. It definitely looked tough out there, not through lack of anybody's driving ability. There's just no room on this track. And as we were talking to Aiden Hill, it's exactly why the admins put this track on the schedule. It's the only Legends Oval track on the schedule, and it was really to push you drivers. And I tell you what, you guys did not disappoint. You guys put on a hell of a show from front to back, all the way through. With this being your second victory of the season, again, the first repeat winner, and I do believe that is going to move you into the points lead after some of the PC issues that the 51 Racing Vernon did have. His PC crashed, and that's why he did not make the initial gridding start on it. Now that you are in the points lead, what is your game plan moving forward for the remainder of the season for that 15 team?
Just finishing well. Winning is great, but the first priority for me is to finish well. I want, to try to get a top 5 at least, every race, to try to minimize damage control, because I'm going to be honest with you, Vernon would have won this race pretty handily. I didn't really have anything for him. He was like 2/10 faster than everybody. And, I feel bad that he had the computer issues, but we'll go on to next week, and hopefully he'll come around and he'll because I think we got Thompson next week, so that's a good track for these cars. It's very racy. I'm hoping we have a good field and everybody races clean so we can have a nice show.
Absolutely, and you are correct. We have Thompson next week and then Martinsville after that, so 2 very racy tracks ahead of us as well. And I say ahead of us like myself or Stash that are actually out there pulling laps ahead of you drivers out there. And if anybody can bounce back from the technical issues that plagued the 51 of Racing Vernon, it's definitely Mr. Vernon himself. He'll be able to bounce back from that, absolutely. But I tell you what, man, you put on a clinic tonight. You kept that car clean. Even Dyson through some of that lap traffic. Now, it didn't take you long to get through that lap traffic or get caught up to that lap traffic. When that happened, it kind of run us through because we haven't, this is the first race we've really had to deal with lap traffic like that because of the size of the track. So kind of tell the fans out there, how that was tonight.
Yeah, you get that with these really small tracks like this. The best thing for you to do really is just race your race. Don't put too much thought into getting around them because you'll get around them in time. And if you spend too much energy, trying to get around them, you can burn your tires off, you could hit them, you could, total your car. Just, you have to, first things first, keep it clean at a track like this because the best way to finish well is to first finish the race.
Could not have said it any better myself. I tell you what, man, you did an excellent job all the way around. Well-deserved first place finish again for the second week in a row. Almost making this look like common practice now. I'm a fan of short track racing. I'm a fan of both paved and dirt. I have always been a fan of initiating a bounty system. I think it's always been fun. I'm not telling the admins to do it or anything else, but I tell you what, in situations like this, would definitely be kind of cool to give a little bit extra incentive there. I'll put a little bit of target on the back there, build up the pressure a little bit. It's always been fun at local tracks around my location and across the nation. But I tell you what, well-deserved. You did a fantastic job. Excellent job on the win tonight. This is your moment, buddy. Your time to shine in victory lane. Hit us with those thanks and those shout-outs.
First things first, I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast every week. And, you guys do a really good job at it. And, I go back after the race and I watch. And I really find that I enjoy watching the races because you guys, your camera angles are freaking excellent. And I want to thank Martin Sports Apparel for, helping you guys put this on and helping us put this on. Having a really nice short track league like this, it's indescribable. You get out there on a Sunday night and you just have fun out there. And I want to thank Evan and Jason for, putting this all together because, I really can't think of anything better to do, to be honest with you. I love racing.
I tell you what, it definitely shows out there. You did an excellent job. Thank you so much for the kind words as well. We do it for you guys, and we do it for the fans out there watching. That's what it's all about. We always want to put on a good show for you guys. And I can't say enough about Martin Sports as you were calling them out. I was showing the swag. I live in this stuff religiously. It is fantastic products all the way around. So again, congratulations on your second victory of the season. Definitely look forward to see what that 15 team can do come next week at Thompson and the following week at Martinsville. Should be 2 very good tracks with some excellent racing action there. So again, congratulations, buddy, but we're going to let you get back to celebrating with your team and kind of winding down from tonight's racing action. So again, congratulations, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
Thank you, guys.
That is your first place finisher, our first repeat winner of the season for 2 weeks in a row now. That was last week and this week. The driver of that number 15, Mr. Jeffrey Clifton. So again, Stash, man, I can't tell you. It was exactly how we called it, buddy. It was going to be bumper to bumper, sticker saver to sticker saver, all the way around. We were going to see bump and runs. We were going to see tire rubs. One thing that we didn't expect to see that we did was drivers riding up the wall Truex style. We've seen a car on their lid turtle going down the backstretch. I mean, there was action all over, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. And, these cars, they're just the way that they are, meant to take a left turn as fast as possible. And a tight track like this, it really pushes the drivers to the edge of their abilities. And I'll tell you what, these guys did one hell of a job tonight. Not as many cautions as I would see in other places, other leagues, even official races. These guys did an excellent job, constantly wheel to wheel. Just fantastic all around, and I could not be happier to have watched it in the view that I got to see it from tonight.
And I couldn't have said it better myself on that. Not near the amount of cautions or anything else that I was, I guess, prepping myself for, knowing that it was a Legends Oval and we were bringing tour mods here. But that goes to show the level of skill that these drivers bring to the table each and every week. So, again, a fantastic job. We do want to shout out to our series sponsors. One last time for the night, because without them, none of this would be possible. First and foremost is the title sponsor of this series. That is none other than Martin Sports. Again, you always see Stash and myself. And when Mr. Tyrannical, he had a hard time with that name last week. He couldn't remember what his call name was. It's Tyrannical. Mr. Terry Radford is on screen. We are always repping that Martin Sports. They make fantastic apparel. They make fantastic products. And I tell you what, the group of individuals they have working for them behind the scenes is some of the best people that you would ever have the privilege of knowing. They put a lot of heart and soul into their products, and it shows, because I tell you what, these things are breathable, they are durable, and they are affordable. Fantastic all the way around. Check out what they got. That's martinsports906.com. Check out their full apparel line. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD to save you 25%. And I do want to say that I do see that Mr. Scott Martin shouted out in the channel as well, gave us that checkered flag. So again, we do know that he is out there watching as well, because he's a nerd himself, and he will always admit that he is a nerd. So that's why, from nerd to nerds, we always support each other. I love it. I do want to give a shout out again to Stay Tuned Sports. Again, you love our race calling here. You love our race broadcast. Go check out their sports podcast, because they are, again, comparable to none. That good feel talk of sports really bring you into it, but they always have that little bit of comedy thrown into it, and difference of opinions when it comes to sports teams from time to time. So there's going to be a little bit of that camaraderie and that ball busting that goes on, but that just adds to the effect. Cover all kinds of the major sports: NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB. They also do combative sports as well, being UFC, Bellator, bare knuckle boxing, you name it, everything in between. They also do NCAA as well. So for all you college fans out there, be sure you tune in to Stay Tuned Sports. We also want to shout out to the title sponsor for tonight. That is AdminBoxx. Again, an excellent product for any of those admins that want to admin and race at the same time. Make life easy with quick push button technology. It is a simple plug and play, no programming required, which is good if you don't happen to be a nerd. It makes life easy, but it gives you all the commands that can be programmed to this AdminBoxx at the push of a button. Does come with backlit lights to make life easy, and a number pad as well for entering in those specific driver commands as well, based off of number entry. A lot of thought put into this. Excellent product. Check out AdminBoxx. We do want to shout out to Nerditudes and Nerd TV's official flagging partner. That is iRacing iFlag. You see in their logo down at the bottom left-hand corners. We had a couple cautions come out for some damn hard racing this for tonight's event. Again, that is the official flag marshaling system of Nerditudes and Nerd TV. 64 LED lights, enough to blind you from the Hubble Space Station orbiting Earth. Yes, you can dial it down so it doesn't blind you, but it is an excellent addition to any sim rig. Gives you peripherals on there, tells you flag statuses. Bundle that with the digital pit board, and I tell you what, you are going to be well informed as a driver. Make life easier while you are in those rigs doing the dirty work. So again, check out iRacingIFlag.com. See what they have to offer. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD. It'll save you 15% at checkout. Do want to shout out to Butt Kicker as well. That is the official audio enhancement partner of Nerditudes and Nerd TV. You did hear Aiden Hill shout out Butt Kicker as well. He used his through and through tonight with all the humps, bumps and runs and everything else. Guarantee you he felt every one of those, and that's exactly what this product does. It allows you, the driver, to pick up that missing element, the feel of the car, your revs, your shift points, tire spin, tire slides, rumble strips, you name it, you're going to feel it right down there at that derriere. So again, check out what they have. That is thebuttkicker.com. Be sure you use promo code NERDTV. Will save you 15% at checkout as well. So again, all in all, this was an excellent race through and through. We want to thank everybody that has showed up. We want to thank everybody that shouted out on the channel. We want to thank all the nerd and nerdettes out there that watched and enjoyed the show as well. At this point in time, though, from the nerds here at Nerditudes and Nerd TV, that is myself, Dustin Ballistic Logston, and the man known only as Stash, Mr. Kenny Haight down there. We like to bid you guys farewell until we see you next week as we visit Thompson Speedway for some more bumper-to-bumper racing action for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. Stay safe out there, stay classy. We'll catch you at the next track.